Kalen DeBoer coming into Alabama, absolutely dominating over the last couple of weeks here in the month of June. When you look at Bama, I think everybody is kind of surprised, but then kind of not surprised all in the same time that Alabama is recruiting like this. I think they are surprised that Kalen DeBoer has been able to do it, but Alabama dominating the recruiting in the month of June. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought that Kalen DeBoer couldn't recruit in the South. That was all I heard. I love saying this every time he has a really good recruiting class. Xavier Griffin committing to Alabama was the thing that got me the most excited. And that was kind of like what the inkling of a belief was when his commitment date was coming up, was like, he's probably going to end up at Alabama. I love this because without Nick Saban, you're still getting a Nick Saban-like linebacker. His comparison by most sites, and the one that I completely agree with, he reminds me a ton of Jahad Campbell, who just went in the first round. And the reason why they're similar is Jahad Campbell was an edge rushing recruit who they moved to off-ball linebacker. And Xavier Griffin does a lot of similar things where he is a great rusher, a great blitzer, and he's going to move off-ball, and they're just going to use him as a weapon. I think that them having Jordan Edmonds, the number 2 corner in this class, is, again, another Nick Saban thing. And then a Xavier Crowell is also just another great ad for them, having one of the top running backs in this class. Defensively is where they're building their identity, and I think that the momentum of that defensive approach is what Kalen DeBoer needs in order for this team to get right, because at times last year, that defense was truly a liability. I don't think that that's going to be the case if he continues to recruit like this.
Well, you're speaking about defense. They're still after a linebacker in Braden Rouse from Marietta, Georgia. Can they get another linebacker there in that scenario? Joe, they're still after one of the top kids or the top kid, depending on the service that you look at, and Cedarian Morgan, the wide receiver, the 5-star, 6'4", 210-pound wide receiver. So they're not done. They're not close to being done. If they're able to lock down some of these recruits that they're desperately after in the state of Alabama that are not committed at the current moment, Anthony Jones, Cedarian Morgan, what does Landon Ducksworth do? Did he go to South Carolina? Do you get involved in that late, even though you have a quarterback? The Cleveland kid that committed to Texas, are you going to be able to flip him at the last moment? There's still a lot of things that they can do inside of the state of Alabama. What's even funnier about this is, remember last year or 2 years ago, Auburn was the team that dominated the state of Alabama when it came to recruiting. Boy, how that quickly changed in their second real full year of Kalen DeBoer recruiting in that state. They still have a lot of big-time things that they can do here. And I do think that they're starting to get rolling. Again, got to hold on. We're going to say this about every single team. But, Joe, I mean, you got to give it to them, man. They have come in there as a staff. They have done what they needed to do. When you're talking about Alabama, they went and got Max Sutter. They went and got Crowley. They went and got Finch. They went and got Kelly. Guys that they think that are going to be able to play at a high level at Alabama. So when you're looking at them, it's not a Saban class yet. Let's see if they can continue to have success here. But I think a lot of people didn't think that this was possible with Kalen DeBoer, and here we are, to your point.
Right, like that's I know we got one more team that we want to get to, not to lay too long on Alabama. I think that that's the biggest part with me, why I get excited for Alabama's fan base, is that nationally and also with your rivals, the crap talking that was happening when Kalen DeBoer was hired was that he's not going to be able to recruit the South, which a lot of these premier guys are from the surrounding states, and that he wasn't going to put a commitment towards recruiting defensively. And the best players that he's had in last year's class, which was one of the best in the 2025 cycle, in this class so far, is that he's getting premier players at each defensive position. That was what made Nick Saban great. That was what made Nick Saban teams as great as they were. He will get the offense right. He and the whole offensive staff will get things right. But if they bring in the bodies on defense, that is the way that they get in